Hi, this is the introductory video for Falcon, which is a cloud testing service available at tfas.com, and I am Anshul Rastogi. I am going to walk you through this presentation in which we are going to talk about where we can use Falcon, and what is the benefits of using the Falcon or this particular service and how easy to use. Okay, let's get started with the agenda what we have for this short video. Uh, that is, what is a test framework as a service, which is a unique concept being introduced by this particular framework or through the service. Uh, why Falcon? What is the advantage do we get if we use Falcon, and what are the problems it tries to resolve? And then we are going to talk about how it exactly works. Uh, we are going to go into the architecture of it, and then we are going to talk about its application scenarios, that what kind of users or what in under what conditions you can go for testing using this particular service. So let's get started and dig deeper. Falcon. Falcon is a TFAS. What does it stands for? Test Framework as a Service. It's an Azure-based scale stress performance framework. So it means for stress, scale, and performance testing on the cloud, and it's Azure based. So whatever the runners or whatever the infrastructure what you are going to get the support from is through Azure. Let's get started and let's see what are the problems. Like in the testing world, if you're working for any testing company as a tester or as a test manager, uh, you must uh, you must be encountering a couple, or maybe more of these problems. Let's go through some of the problems that we face in the environment today. Like test environment is unused for a long time, and it is accruing charges on cloud. That's one of the problems because cloud is pay as you go, and whenever you are having some of the things deployed or your frameworks deployed onto the cloud, if you already have something like that, then it keeps on accruing you the money. That's one problem. Other problem is I am waiting for IT to configure a new environment. Environment creations are always very costly, and it consumes a lot of IT resources. We can't get additional environments. They cost thousands of source and thousands to manage. One another problem, why should we spend money on a new environment who will only use it for few weeks? Sometimes it's talking about few weeks, sometimes it's few hours. Effectively, if you say something gets deployed and effective usage is very low. So, and on the cloud, as we have seen in the first problem, it will continue to accrue the charges. Testing can start as soon as the environment is available. One other problem, the latest release destroyed our databases. We have built a new test environment, now you want another one. Okay. The problem is that creating the test environments, deploying your frameworks over there, it's always been very costly and inefficient operations so far. The Falcon tries to solve all these problems in a single shot, and believe me, it's going to be a very smooth if you want to use it. Let's get started and see how it works. Test framework. By providing the test framework as a service, remember, like unlike other companies which provides test framework or you can create the test and run on their infrastructure, this is not the same case over here. The infrastructure will be built to you directly, and only the framework, only the software part will be provided to you by us. And remember, like it's a quite an innovative concept. As you see along the video, you're going to realize that uh, uh, means what it means is actually like your user the test are going to run on your account, on your user account. Whatever the infrastructure requirements are going to be fulfilled from your user account, and all the deployments, all the software activities, your deployment of your frameworks, running the test, saving the test will be done by us, and this is in an automated fashion. In the nutshell, if you want to understand, you just submit your test, configure your test environment, hey, like very user friendly configurations, like this many number of machines I want, this number of threads I want, all these things. And then Falcon goes and creates that kind of environment on your for your for you on your account under your subscription, and run the test. And this is how it works. Let's get what is the advantage? No need to create environments. Environment is created at runtime by the framework. For the test, after the test is launched, as soon as you submit your test, whatever the resource requirement by this particular test you have configured, it is going to go and fetch that, create that environment for you onto the cloud. Complete your test, deploy the components, complete the test, and undeploy after the test and free the resources. So it feels it solves first problem what we talked about, that you don't have to continuously pay for it. As let's say if you are running a test for 10 hours, you end up paying for only for 10 hours, because once the test is completed, it is automatically it will be undeployed, or the resource will be released to the pool, or will be released from out of your subscription. So you get more efficiency. That brings the first concept, that is economical. No need to invest on developing new frameworks, maintaining the frameworks. So in this case, you just have to worry about your test. You don't have to worry about how the frameworks gets deployed, who maintains the framework. All these things will be taken care by our workforce. In turn, what you can do is you can mobilize your workforce involved in framework deployment, environment creation to other productive activities. Scalability. See, when we talk about scalability, on cloud is all about scalability. I'm sorry about that. Yeah. Uh, Falcon can generate loads from hundreds of machines. It's totally disconnected architecture. Lets you simulate very high speed, very generate very high load. By it has been tested to hundreds of machines, practically infinite scale what you can get from this framework. Easy to write and execute test. That's a thing that we targeted throughout our system, through our development of this framework, that it should be very easy to write and execute the test. Live reporting. uh, Unlike where once the test is completed and then you are going to see the reports, not like that. You are going to see the real time reporting of the runs. You will get a web based dashboard which can be viewed from any system. With You don't need to install heavy frameworks on your system to get to view this reporting. Let's say if you are going to your manager and he wants to see, or you are going to a meeting room and they have the system or present over there, you can log into your system and show what is happening with your test live there. You don't have to remote desktop. It's like not to remote desktop and then show it somewhere. You can directly go and show it through visiting our website. Rich reporting. There is a very important concept that we have improved. We have introduced, that you can compare the runs. Like let's say if you have run a test 10 days back and now you're running the same test and you want to have a comparison, you can view these comparisons. And remember that we talked about the database getting destroyed. All these things will be taken care by the framework itself. Let us understand the architecture of the this Falcon and how it works. And remember, the orange component is the framework components that will be owned by us, and blue components is actually what gets deployed under user subscription, or I should say user Azure subscription. So there is a web role. You can understand it's like a website. What a user does it, like first of all, he uploads his test in the form of DLLs and other dependent files, and provides the configuration. Once he submits the test, and directs the Falcon web role to start the test. The test is given to the Falcon scheduler. Scheduler is the component. Scheduler creates the number of runners, as we discussed about the blue components, now you can see are coming up, and all these part is actually coming under your subscription. It prepares, it takes that how many machines you've asked for. All these things are taken care now, and it deploys the framework component. After that, it deploys your test binaries and start running the test. And after that, it starts publishing each of these and runners are going to publish the result to the result processor. Result processor is going to throw the data to the SQL Azure as well as to the Falcon web role. Falcon, now from this web role, you will, by this interaction, you are going to get the live reporting. Let's say if you are not you are offline, it is going to throw to the SQL Azure as well, and it can be seen and it can be retrieved later to see the results. So results are secured under SQL Azure, and remember, these test runners, result processor and SQL Azure are the components which are going to be under your subscription. Once the test is over, your test runners are going to be released, your result processor is going to be released, which is again a worker role, and your all the data, all the data collected during the test has been saved into the SQL Azure. So later, if you want to see, you can retrieve the results from the SQL Azure at any instance of time. So let's see this stepwise. Step 1, the user uploads the test dependent files to the container. Specify the test configuration and environment configuration. After the user initiates the test, in the third step, the test runner component is deployed in the Azure subscription. It automatically creates all the required resources under the user subscription. Remember, it is under your subscription. Whether you are running a test for one user or for 100 users, we don't worry. You only have to pay our fixed cost for the subscription. If you are running a big test, directly Azure is going to charge to your account, not to our account. So it's a very transparent and a way where you can predict the your bills in a much better uh, way, because you know that this is that if you are using 10 machines, you know that what is the Azure is going to take, and we have a fixed billing pattern that is $200 a month. Maybe like it may change. Yep, but for the timing it's $200 a month, and you can predict it, and it's going to be cheaper to any of the other service providers what we have seen right now, like which are providing these kind of services along with the infrastructure. But here the infrastructure is directly being taken and charged to you by Azure, and we are only taking responsibility of your running as well as deployment and undeployment and collecting your data. After in the step 4, the deployment is complete. After the scheduler schedules the test onto the test runners. Test runners step 5 starts executing the test and publish the result every 5 seconds. Step 6, result gets consolidated after the processing by the result processor. And it was step 7, Falcon web based UI represents the result to the end user on informative graphs. Then the last step, after the completion of the test scheduler deletes the deployment and freeing the resources. Let's talk about the application scenarios. Application scenarios, testing application hosted on Windows Azure Cloud. Like in this case, the application and the test run lies on the same data center, involves traffic within the cloud. Since remember, if you are onto the within the data center, you don't have to pay for the outbound traffic, because the inbound traffic and the outbound traffic rates are different. So you save a lot of money if your test involves talking to some service and here heavy data transactions. You can test them better with a and at a lesser cost through this. Testing applications on hosted on other clouds, you can generate heavy loads from these machines, and you can also test the applications onto the other clouds. uh, Testing applications hosted on data centers, on it can be anywhere now. Like when we talk about other clouds, it can be on some other data center or your on premise, doesn't matter. and you can test their application performance from different geographies. We have this service running in United States and UK, Southeast Asia, and we are going to be live in East Asia soon. Uh, so you can, if you want to test, let's say your application is actually in United States and you want to test it, you can use the United States data center. Let's say if you want to see that, hey, how it works for the, or how, what is the performance, or what is the stress if we generate from remote locations like UK. You can use West Europe data center, and you will see like what is the performance. So this is how it can be. You can achieve testing your service and from different geographies. Thanks for watching this video. You can post your queries on tfaas.com, and for more information you can visit tfaas.com. Thanks for watching. Thank you very much. I hope in the next video I'm going to talk about that how exactly it works, and the practical way, like writing the test, uh, running the test, all these things, getting the subscription, all these things will be shown in the next couple of videos. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you.